Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first with Wendy in 2021. Happy New Year to all of you. Hope everybody enjoyed the holiday. Hope everybody has been having a great year so far. It's so nice to be back with you after I feel like I haven't been here in a long time, even though I was here last week. But I wanted to come in and continue our Wednesdays with Wendy. We will be continuing this segment throughout the year. This is our first one, like I said before. For those of you who may not have been on before, my name is Wendy Garvin Mayo. I am a nurse practitioner. I am a certified life coach as well as a cancer caregiver consultant. And what I do is I really empower people to manage their stressors so they can optimize their health and wellness. My specialty is oncology, so I do work with cancer patients and cancer caregivers. Today, we are here and we are going to talk about how thoughts are really the foundation of choice. But I'll be remiss if I didn't really recognize what's going on in our country, the United States, tonight. There's a lot of just upheaval. I don't even know what to call it. Chaos going on in DC. And I think this topic that we're talking about tonight is really relevant, right? Because we are definitely in control of our thoughts, which can really impact the choices we make in our lives. The Foundations of Intentional Transformation is a book. It's called The 10 Foundational Elements of Intentional Transformation, How to Become the Best You. So really transforming yourself by Max Story. So this is the book we'll be using to talk about our different Wednesdays with Wendy topic. Because, the reason I do what I do is because I truly believe that all of us, anyone who can hear my voice, is possible of transforming themselves into who they want to be and how they want to show up in the world. We are definitely in control of that. We may need a little bit of support, a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of accountability, but we are definitely in control of how we want to live our lives. And not that it's easy. Change is never easy. That's why it's definitely important to surround yourself with the correct people who are going to encourage you. And also just be intentional in what you're doing. For those of you who are watching or whoever can hear my voice, let me know, do you have a New Year's resolution? Did you make a New Year's resolution this year? Let me know in the chat. In December, I did a segment on the stages of behavioral change because change is not easy. I believe I said I'm not a big New Year's resolution person. And I actually found this quote by Bob Chapman. And it said, it is possible at any moment in time to push the reset button, to embrace a different way of being and experience dramatic change. And that quote really embodies why I personally don't try to make New Year's resolutions, because every day I try to be better, do better, and just get better. And that way I can give better. So I can share my gifts with the world as long as I'm always trying to improve myself. So I see a Facebook user says, no, I don't make them anymore. Okay, good. So what do you do now, Facebook user? I can't see your name. You have to give StreamYard permission to post your name. But yeah, I don't make them. I think, one of my friends was saying that she thinks New Year's resolution, really induce stress. And she's a therapist. So I was like, that's really insightful, because you do put a lot of pressure on yourself. Hi, Wanda. You do put a lot of pressure on yourself to, meet this expectation. You put, this expectation around yourself, and then you start telling people. And then when you're not able to meet them, it can beat yourself up. So it can definitely induce stress, which is something that I work to help people reduce. So, so I don't make New Year's resolutions either. One thing that I am doing different is I I have my full-time job, and then I have Shape Partners, which is my life job. But like I think I told you guys before, I write everything down, but really scheduling the whole week out, not days. So I moved from just trying to schedule my day out to the whole week, so I can actually see it and really plug things in that that I need to do, whether it's family time, whether it's, phone calls, tasks. So really trying to work hard at that. And I started that today. So it's not a New Year's resolution, it's something I'm trying to do to really better my day. I am resolute that it is a new year. Nothing last year is determining who I am today. I must do that. Yes. No, absolutely. And I think, that's a good point, Claude. I think last year got, a really terrible rap. And I know it was a really bad year. We lost a lot of lives, secondary to COVID-19. So a lot of families are suffering, but there were also some great things that came out of last year. In time of crisis, you can go either way, right? So people, it can motivate you to do something really good. Or, you can retreat, right? And it could, you go left or right. But like we're talking about today, the choice is really yours, right? And how you manifest or what you're going to do in that time of stress or fear or what have you. I'll tell you a little story that I wasn't really planning on telling tonight. But when COVID-19 first hit last year, I was a new mom of an infant, fairly new wife, and I'm a healthcare provider. So I was really fearful of, what does all this mean, right? Because, I had in my mind, being a mom, I will be doing X, Y, or Z, with my son, I'll be able to take him here, do this, do that. And COVID-19 hit. And, to be honest, I was froze. I was really stressed out about, COVID-19, having my son. My mom was here at the time. She's an elderly woman. So I was really, I was afraid. I was afraid. I was stressed out. Being a healthcare professional, I wasn't on the front lines at that time. And then I really had to make a choice as to what am I going to do, because I can't function in this manner at this state. And what was born out of that fear is really what we're doing right now. Shape Partners was really born out of that fear. I really, channeled that fear into serving people. And I stayed in my wheelhouse of oncology, cancer caregivers, and Shape Partners was always a dream of mine when, my aunt passed away. But it's something I thought I would do like when I retire or after I finish working, or I never, ever thought that I would be starting Shape Partners last year. Never, ever in a million years. Never in a million years have I thought that. And, in the midst of all that, not only starting Shape Partners, I also went back to the front line. So I currently work on the front lines. It's just so crazy how, life shifted for me in that time of fear, stress, and, really not knowing what to do. So I channeled that into serving people. And that's where Shape Partners came from. So that is my story about, just fear and the choices we make and how do you channel them to really transition and still living your purpose. So that motivates me to serve people, to really, empower them to take a hold of their stressors. And stress can show up in a number of ways. It can show up as anger, sadness. It can show up as, being short-tempered. It can show up as so many different things. But what motivates me to really target stress is that stress can definitely impact our health, mental and physical health, and especially for cancer caregivers, right? Because life is stressful by itself. Never mind your loved one being diagnosed with cancer, just kind of compounds that stress. So that's my mission, is to really help people adopt sustainable strategies that will manage their stress and ultimately, optimize their health and wellness. So I went off on that tangent. I was not planning to talk about that tonight, but I just felt compelled to tell that story. So we are going to get into thoughts being the foundation of choice. So for those of you who are watching, how many of you have a plant or flowers or grass outside your house? Let me know in the chat if you do. Because I compare that to our brains, which is our thoughts. And our thoughts can be, conscious thoughts, which I believe feeds our subconscious mind. That's a whole nother segment. But, when we have, so I do, someone has a plant, flower, or grass. So when I think of our minds, I think of plants, flowers, or grass, because we have to be really mindful and intentional about keeping those things alive. Right. So what do? We water them, we feed them, we remove the dead, little leaves off of them. We really care for them. We have to do the same thing with our mind and our thoughts. We have to be intentional about watering it, right? So what are you watering it in? So maybe some positivity. What are you listening to? What are you reading? Who are you surrounding yourself with, right? You got to feed your mind. So that's that input we talked about. We talked about, being impeccable with our words from the 4 agreements. Kind of the same thing here. Our thoughts are really the foundation of everything we do. Right? It all starts with our thoughts, right? So our thoughts really impact our beliefs and our behaviors and or choices, right? And it also impacts how we show up in the world. So it's important to be intentional with our thoughts, so we are making the right choices. So we are really being a reflection of who we want to be in the world. So really our thoughts plus emotions plus actions equals our choice, right? And sometimes we don't have positive thoughts, right, about ourselves or about, the people around us or what we're doing. And so let me know if you ever experienced this. Have you ever experienced not feeling like you're doing something really, really well, but someone else saying, oh my God, you're doing that well. You're so good at this. You're so good at that. And you're like, I am not good at that. Let me know in the chat if that has ever happened to you. For those people who can really relate to that, I'm going to challenge you to borrow that person's thought or compliment of you and feed yourself that. Feed yourself that, oh, I am good at X. Oh, I am good at Y, right? Because sometimes the world can see us and we can't see ourselves. So you have to really listen to those things. And as humans, it's human nature to really shrug off those compliments and make us feel like uncomfortable, right? But those are the things you want to feed. You want to let those in, where the bad compliments or the negativity, we let penetrate us and really impact our lives on a daily basis, impact those thoughts, right? Which leads us to make negative choices, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's depression, whether you're not motivated to do what you need to do. But more importantly, you make the choice not to show up the way you want to show up. And that's really important. We all need to show up the way we want to show up. And that's where the intention comes from. We have to be intentional about, one, what we want and what we're going to put in to get what we want. And it's going to be important to really surround yourself with the right individuals Feed your mind with what it needs in order to manifest how you want to show up or manifest the choices you want to make, right? And that's why, one of my motivations for doing Wednesdays with Wendy is really to put that out there in the universe. And, we have a community, cancer caregivers, family members and friends community with Shape Partners. And in that community, that's one thing I try to foster is really, how do we get better? How do we as a community get better? Right. And we can get better together, because community is so important when you're trying to do something that you haven't really done or been successful at, right? So it's really important to have a sense of community to do that. So I challenge all of you, whoever can hear me, whoever's watching this, or whoever is listening to this, is really take some time and space to figure out how you want to show up in the world. Are you showing up in the world the way you want to? If you are, great. Continue to feed that. But if you're not, really be intentional about trying to show up the way you want to show up. It will really help reduce your stress, reduce, anger, reduce frustration, and really just increase your quality of life. That's what it's about. This year started off, there were some people who didn't really have a good start to the year. And I think I posted something on January 2nd, saying something to the effect of, this year will give you basically what you put into it, right? But we have to be active participants in our lives to really achieve what we want, right? So I want you to, be mindful of your thoughts. We talk about mindsets. Be mindful of your thoughts. And when you have those negative or unpleasant thoughts, or thoughts that don't align with how you want to show up or how you want to be, I want you to catch it, challenge it, and change it. Okay? Because this year is really all about all of us showing up the way we want to show up in life. And I'm going to use this platform to help individuals do that. And I'm going to do it myself every day. I'm doing something new to try to better myself. How can I show up the way I want to show up? And for me, it's going to be really managing my time is something I'm personally going to work on, because I want to show up for the people in my life in a different way than I was. So I caught it, I challenged it, and I'm changing it. So I challenge all of you to do that. I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight. I'll be back next week to talk about choice being the foundation of our vision. And that's going to be a really interesting topic, but we'll continue to do this. If you need me, you know how to get in contact with me via email, DM, or you can call me. But until we meet again, I want everyone to, be your best, do your best, and give your best. And good night, everyone. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.